Okay, so 1.6 is the last one. We are going to talk about absolute value. So absolute value is a way of finding the distance between two numbers. And the most important thing about absolute value is that it can only create a positive number. So what comes out of the absolute value is always a positive number. So let's look at this question. What is the solution of absolute value a equals 5? So that is the question of like what can a be so that when it comes out of the absolute value you actually get a positive 5. Okay, plus minus 5, right? If you put a plus 5 in there, you get a plus 5 out. You put a minus 5 in there, you still get a minus 5 out. So essentially in absolute value questions, you usually get two answers because positive or negative will work. So for example, let's look at this question. 3 absolute value x plus 2 minus 1 equals 8. Let's kind of take your math sense. What do you think you should do first? Very good, add 1. We always want to get rid of things that's farthest from x, which is the minus 1 here. All right, take out your math sense again. What should you do next?
Divide by 3.
Very good, perfect. Divide by 3. Absolute value x plus 2 equals 3. Now we come to the point where we are solving for absolute value. And absolute value, like I said, we usually have two answers because positive will work and negative will work. So here's some rules on solving absolute value. First, you want to isolate the absolute value. Isolate means get it by itself, meaning get rid of things that's next to it. Next, you want to set it to positive and negative, which is what we're going to do next. Positive and negatives. This is very important. Now, how do you do that? So what I do is I draw two lines like this. That way, I remind myself I'm going to make it a positive and negative. So what you do is you take the absolute value off. So x plus 2 only without the absolute value around it. Make it equal to exactly that same question. And then on the other side, you're going to take x plus 2 again, but this time you're going to make it the negative version. And then you solve. So minus 2, x is equal to 1. Minus 2, x is equal to minus 5. So then your answer is 1, excuse me, or minus 5. Sorry. Good? Okay. All right, let's have you guys try one yourself. Let me know when you have the answer. Okay, on the first one, you should get x equals minus 7 or 11. Negative 11. Okay, on the second one, if you're not sure because it looks a little bit different from the question we did, it does look different. On the right-hand side, it's no longer just a number. It has a variable, but do the same thing. 3x plus 2 is the positive version, or exactly the same question. And then the negative version is 3x plus 2 equals the negative of the entire thing. So this is the tricky part. You have to put the negative of the entire thing and then try to solve both equations. Okay, go ahead and do that. Let me know when you're done. The answer is x equals minus 3 or minus 1. Good? All right, let me ask you one more question. This is a little tricky. Absolute value x minus 3 equals minus 4. Go ahead and give that one a try.
That's not possible.
Ah, Josiah found the trick. He said it's not possible. Why not?
The absolute value can only be positive.
Yes. Okay, so I want you to actually look at the question. So the question is absolute value of something equals negative. So that's hopefully you know, if you do try to solve it, you will get an answer, which is scary because you're like, oh, but I got an answer. Well, yes, you got an answer. Make sure you plug it back. It will not work because absolute value of something is always positive. So this is no solution. But you gotta be able to recognize that, or else you will be able to solve something and then that won't make any sense. So please be careful. I think. Okay, let's now go to inequality. So we're going to solve absolute value inequality. Now, when you have an absolute value inequality, make sure you flip the sign if you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number. But also, when you made it negative, you have to switch the sign, or else it actually doesn't not make any sense what you're solving. Okay, absolute value of 2x minus 1 less than 5. So again, positive, negative. So take the absolute value off and then rewrite the whole thing. On the other side, take the absolute value off, but this time you need to make it negative, which means it's going to be a negative 5. But when you make something negative, you also have to switch the sign because you're basically changing the whole equation. So you're going to have to switch the sign and make it negative. And then at this time, you can solve like normal. Go ahead and finish, graph it, let me check it, and then you can do number 2. Okay, so this first one, if you have not solved it, it's negative 2 less than x less than 3. Okay, and then try number 2. The answer for number 2 is negative 6 less than equal to x less than equal to 26 over 3. So that is negative 6 here, and 26 over 3 is almost 9. Okay, try the last one if you have not gotten there yet. So if you finish this one and you're not sure what the answer is, x greater than equal to 48 over 5, or x less than equal to negative 42 over 5.